take 103. You're right, Alex. If you're watching this, it means that you took the time out of your I imagine at this point, extremely busy schedule to have a quick look at my thing. I'm eternally grateful. Genuinely, I'll try and keep the presentation time down to a minimum and stuff. Right, begin. So, I've just finished performing my transcription. You know, it went perfectly, nailed every note to the T, and now we're getting into it. So that was now I'm talking to the class. So that was a solo by Kevin Gordon. So I'll just tell you a bit about him. So he was born and raised in Detroit. At a young age, he was taken under the mentorship of legendary trumpet player Marcus Belgrave. Later, he went on to the University of Michigan, where he studied with Robert Hurst and Benny Green, and he shared the stage with artists such as Joe Lovano, Ravi Coltrane, Wynton Marsalis, list goes on. So I was first introduced to Kayvon through a Jazz Underground YouTube session he was on, in place of the main trio's drummer, TJ Reddick. So I'll just tell you a bit about Jazz Underground, because I'm such a big fan. So, Reddick, Rios and Armentos, they met at Juilliard and started playing as a group around New York in 2020. And soon after, they created their YouTube channel. Much like Emmett's Place, they created it as a response to being forced out of live music venues during the pandemic. And through this channel and through the guests they've had on, I've been introduced to some of my favourite contemporary musicians, like Mika Thomas and Miguel Zenon. You guys should check out Jazz Underground if you haven't thus. When I first saw Kayvon's session, concept of drums, on its head, just such nice vocab, super light touch, really, really nice use of the hi-hat as a comping instrument. And I started to figure out that a lot of what I liked about what he was doing was his utilisation of each partial of the triplet grid, which I'll get into soon. So, in even modern swing drumming, like that of Jack DeJohnette or Steve Gadd, really we only hear them use the middle triplet in their left-hand snare drum comping patterns, while the ride cymbal is limited to on and off beats. So then I'll demonstrate this. So this is the last two bars of the second A of Autumn Leaves, Chet Baker, and we'll see, and then I'll play them the tune, and you can see that this, as a typical example of modern drumming, you only really see the middle triplet being played by the snare drum and the hi-hat and ride limited to on and off beats. So in this first lick, we'll see Tivon using dotted quaver rhythms on the ride cymbal, breaking the mold as opposed to just the on and off beats. So this is the lick here. So the best way I can describe what he's doing here is he's playing two triplets together encased between dotted quavers, and then filling the gaps with snare beats. So in example 1, the two triplets come after the first dotted quaver, but you see what I mean, they're sort of encased by dotted quavers. So I've created some exercises to help. I've created some exercises that I've been using to help me improvise within this concept. So in the first bar, you see the two triplets come first, and then it's dotted quavers. And in example B, the two triplets come after the first dotted quaver. So, how to apply this? So if we go back, Tivon uses this lick to anticipate hits in the melody. So you can see here in example 2. So the melody here in example 2 goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da 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 da. So to practice this, we want to try and use this lick to anticipate different hits and our own hits. I like to practice using using a different tune. Sorry, I like to practice this using a different tune with hits, and then you're already applying this in different contexts. But so, for example, bar 5 of Now's the Time is there's a hit on the end of 3. So what we want to do is we want to select one of these exercises that lands on the end of 3, where the ride cymbal lands on the end of 3. So I'll select C here, where you can see lands on the end of 3, and I'll practice using that lick to anticipate that end of 3 hit, and then Alex, I'd get up and I'd demonstrate that on the kit. Cool. Right. So this next lick is a 5-note lick Kayvon does, where he plays the hi-hat and snare on alternate triplets. Very hip, I think. And I'll show you, I'll play this again from the start of the trade, and then I would demonstrate it. So in order to internalize this idea that he's doing, the first thing I always do is shift the exact lick to all places in the bar. So first you want to start it from beat 1, which would sound like this, and play that. Then you want to start from the middle triplet of beat 1, and I'd demonstrate that. But to try and get better at improvising using this alternate triplet idea, I broke it down into smaller 3-note patterns and have been using them as phrase starters to make my own ideas. So here they are, the sort of phrase starters that are rooted in that, in Kayvon's initial idea. And then I demonstrate some blowing, some improvising using these as phrase starters. Cool. Right. Yeah. So, lick 3. This is quite a simple triplet idea that Kayvon's using. You can see in the second bar of example 1. So it's basically, the sticking is basically right, left, bass, right, left, bass. Kayvon, Elvin Jones was a huge influence for Kayvon. And pretty much every Elvin solo that you hear, you'll most often hear him using this lick. So for example, in Lee Konitz's All of Me, but by the third bar, Elvin's playing this lick. I've transcribed a bit of it here, and then I'd play them from the start of Elvin's solo, and they could hear the lick in action. Yeah, so to get ownership of this idea, the first thing we want to do is practice different sticking variations for this. Kayvon and Elvin, in the examples I gave, were playing right, left, bass, right, left, bass. But you also want to practice bass, right, left, and the difficult one as well, left, bass, right, left, bass, right, left, bass, right, left, bass. And practice those to gain a greater ability to improvise within this idea. And then the next thing you want to practice is orchestration. So I've put up some suggestions that I've been using for different ways of orchestrating this idea. These are orchestrations of the right-left bass sticking. But really the best way to get comfortable with this is create your own stickings, mess about. Life's too short. Whatever. Right, lick 4. So this last lick's really, really nice, and I've never heard anyone do it Kayvon uses it again to accent hits of the melody. The best way I can describe what's going on here is he plays the floor tom and open hi-hat on the hits and closes the hi-hat in between. And if there's more than a beat's gap between two hits, he proceeds the later hit with a floor tom, which you can see going on here. But really, it's much easier to feel how it works rather than try and understand it conceptually. So what we want to do is we want to try using this lick to accentuate our own hits. So I've drawn up a couple of different bars of hits here, and then what the lick would be for those hits. The last two bars are the last two bars of Billy's Bounce. Da 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 da. And then you can see the corresponding what the lick would be for those hits. So now I'll demonstrate from the last four bars of Billy's Bounce how you would use this lick for Billy's Bounce. So and then I do the lick, whatever. Yeah, that's it. So obviously that was only 11 minutes, but I'm not playing the solo. I'm not playing all the clips and stuff. But yeah, any feedback would be really appreciated, man. But I know you're really busy and stuff. So yeah, thanks very much, Alex.